Hello, webmasters. Welcome back to the Digital Cheat Sheet. My name is Diane. I'm the communication specialist with the division, and I just want to show you how to embed YouTube videos to your page, and also if you want to do Twitter handles on your page. Okay, so just like everything else, just about everything else that we've gone over in these videos, we're talking about a content portlet again. I know what you're thinking. If she says content portlet one more time, but it really is the basic building block for your website. I mean, you could use that and do everything that you need. Literally, you could do everything that you need to make a rocking and rolling website with just that one building block. Okay, so let's hop into design mode. All right. I'm going to drag down a new content portlet because I like to start fresh. Drop here. I'm just clicking, dragging, and dropping, okay? All right. And let's click edit. We have two editors here. You could do this one too. I'm going to do this one though. It's truly just a preference. I don't care either way, you know, whichever one works better for you, okay? So this is the content portlet that you've seen, how we normally view it. Today, we have to go to the HTML side, stepping into the dark side, guys. Okay, because that's how you actually embed something on your website. So for the images, they make it easier to do that, from your server. You can use the image manager. It's very streamlined, simple. But when you want to actually embed, especially outside content to your website, let's say you use a YouTube video from the division or that a teacher did or some students did a video and you want to embed that on your page, a principal's welcome video or something like that. Those elements are awesome, especially in the modern day. You definitely want everything to be, streamlined, visual, videos, icons, things like that. So all that stuff is great and you're thinking on the right lines. I'm just showing you how to go about doing that. Okay. So let's hop over to YouTube, click on that, and let's go to our videos. Okay. All right. Let's see. We have Portsmouth's Finest. Okay, that's one of the school board student representative for the school board. They do a video monthly. So let's take that. All right, I'm gonna view that on YouTube. And again, if you just Google YouTube, that's just because I'm logged in on this channel and it's for my channel. Okay, so I don't even need to watch that. I know that that's what I want to see. I'm gonna click share. And if you look up here, they have the embed option. So you can't just use the URL. Let's say if you're hyperlinking, let's say you want to hyperlink an image, that's different. That's just like, check out the hyperlinking text and images video. That's a whole nother video. You could do it that way as well if you want to. This is if you want to actually have the video player of YouTube on your website. Okay. So we're going to go to embed and oh, that looks so cute. Okay. So we have this embed code up here with the iframe HTML tags. Okay. So the embed options, we always want to show player controls, just like anything on our page. You want the player controls to be there. Okay. So I don't even mess with any of this other stuff down here. I just copy that. I highlighted it. You can just click copy too, and it'll copy that. Now I'm going to hop back over here in my HTML side. So again, this is the design part of the content editor. This is the HTML, the back end of the content editor. So you're literally on the back end of the back end. You didn't even know, how deep you could go, but you are a webmaster, and this is this is just a part of our journey. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in there and then click back on again. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna scroll down a little more so you can see that. Okay, I'm down here, these little tabs down here. Okay, I'm clicking on design again, and look at that video popped right up. Okay, got the thumbnail and everything, the channel that it came from, all that good stuff. All right, so now I'm going to click publish. I don't want to change my page status from hidden to publish because this page is hidden for a reason. So I'm going to click no. It will still publish my changes so that I can see them for myself, but I don't have to make it live for everybody else when I make it live for me. Okay. Now I'm going to exit design mode really quickly. There it is. Okay. There's a video. I'm going to click play. Again, this just embedded it on this page. This isn't hyperlinking to it. We literally put it on the page. Okay. So, yep, that's the video. If they want to watch it on YouTube, they can. They can full screen it from here. You have that option as well. So it's great. And they can copy the link too, and share it to other people. So now you get more foot traffic to your videos as well, especially if it's, your videos or for like a campaign or something like that. Okay. So easy enough, right? Everyone's scared of the HTML tab. No need to be afraid of that, especially in a new content portlet anyway. It's blank. So you're just using it for a video and that's it. I recommend that if you're going to do that, if you can, do it in a whole different portlet. If it just says, featured video or, principal's message, something like that. I mean, keep the text very brief because you don't want it to get confusing and jumbled up in the HTML backend, okay? So we got the video there. I'm going to pause that. Hopping back into design mode here. Now, let's say I want to put the Twitter handle. So Twitter handle, I'm sure that you've seen that on other schools' pages too. That is basically just, I'm going to close these YouTube tabs here when I'm talking, but that will basically come from the publisher for Twitter. So I have that page here. So be sure to take note of this URL. It's called Twitter Publish. Okay. And that URL is literally publish.twitter.com/the hash symbol, #. Okay, so that's the URL for this. This is from literally directly from the Twitter developers. It's not a third and fourth and fifth party or something like that, or some paid subscription. You don't have to do any of that. Twitter already has it developed for you to use. Okay, so I'm sure that you could do the same with, maybe your Instagram feed too. You could do that. But right now I'm talking about Twitter handles. A lot of schools have Twitter. That seems to be the most popular that schools have with our division. So that's why I'm focusing on Twitter here. Okay. So what would you like to embed? So all you need is the Twitter URL that you're looking for. So let's see, I'll use the division's Twitter. Okay. So let's go to profile. All right. This is the division's Twitter page, twitter.com/portsva schools. I'm just copying that. Okay. And I'm pasting it in here. Click the arrow. Do I want to embed the timeline or just a Twitter button? So looking at both, I look at the buttons first. It's a little quicker. So if I want to do a button, I could do a follow button or a mention button. They're a little different. One is saying, hey, follow us on Twitter, so to open up their page and let them follow you on Twitter. This one is going to open up a page with a tweet from their account so that they can at the school and mention you right from your homepage. From wherever you put your Twitter handle on your website. Most people put it on the homepage. Okay. So I'm not going to do the button. I want to put the whole feed. That's like we put the whole timeline up there. I want them to actually see our tweets. So you can say embed timeline. That's all we need, unless you like to set customized options. Okay. So I could copy the code right here, and it's gonna put my Twitter feed on the page. So copy code that has been copied. Very good. I'm hopping back over here. Let's see. I'm gonna minimize this. I'm just minimizing this portlet so that it's hidden. Again, don't recommend really deleting a whole lot of stuff. It's better to minimize because you might need it later. And then you could just restore it if you need to. So I'm dragging a content portlet down. Okay, drop. All right. And let's click edit. Okay, once again, I can't copy that code and paste it into this design view. It's not going to come out right. I have to come down here to these tabs at the bottom, and I have to go from design to HTML. So now I'm in the HTML view. Now I can paste it. That's pasted in there. Okay, hopping back over to design. Well, it just says tweets by Ports VA schools. It's just a link. What happened? With the design view, when you're in the editor, it doesn't always show you exactly real time what your website changes will actually look like, which is why we have to publish it and then, go back and tweak it if necessary and then publish it. Okay. So it's a little more song and dance involved with that because I can't just see the timeline right here. That's just the way that it is. So you have to publish it first to fully see the changes. Okay. So I'm going to click publish. Once again, I want it to stay hidden. So I will click no. All right, and let's see here. Cut design mode off, and look at that. That is my timeline. Okay, now it is that big because I didn't set the settings on it to just say, hey, just show, my last 3 tweets and make it a certain size. Okay, so that's a HTML coding thing. So if I go back into Twitter Publish, I'll just say set customization options. There we go. Now, let's make that height. Let's see, I don't want it to be super big like that, right? So let's say I want it to be, let's say 300 pixels, okay? And then the width, let's make that 300 pixels, okay? So it gives me this little square here. So this is the preview of what it'll look like right here. And again, I'm back on publish.twitter.com, okay? See, now that's pretty small, but if you look on the school pages that you may have seen this on, it's usually in like a little box that you guys have in your layout. It's like a little section, and then, you can put the tweets right there. So it makes sense there. If you want it to be wider, you can make it wider if you want to. Again, keeping it within that 600 pixels or less, just like you would an image. Try to keep everything, 600 pixels or less in width, so that it doesn't completely, blow out the website or anything. Okay. So now I'm going to click update. All right. If you look in here, thank you for copying it, but where it says data width 300, data height 300, those are the changes that I just made under the customization. Okay. So that's when you really start getting into understanding what you're doing. Computers are very calculated and clear. It's just it's a machine. If you put something in, it's going to spit that out to you, just like a calculator. 2 + 2 shouldn't equal 5 on your calculator, unless you're doing some weird equation or something. Okay. So it's the same thing with your computer, and looking at it that way, HTML doesn't seem so scary. All right. So I'm going to go in here. I just went into design mode. I'm going back into my editor. So now I want to update this. Say, hey, or let's say that this, for whatever reason, this widget stops working, right? I've seen that happen too. Like the Twitter feed was there yesterday, and I woke up this morning and it was just gone. What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. It might not just be sending and receiving data. So let's refresh that. I just go into the HTML side. I highlight that old Twitter code, delete it. I don't need it. And now I'm pasting in the new one. Okay. And I know it's the new one because it has that 300 in there for the data width and height that I just selected. Okay. Go back to design mode. Again, it just looks like a link. I have to publish it to see the real changes. Click again, because I don't want this to go from hitting to publish or, showing to the public. And there it is. See, now it looks smaller. Let's close design mode. Take a look at that. There we go. Okay. That's a lot more palatable. Okay. So again, and I can scroll through. It's not taking up extra space, but that's like my last 5 tweets, I think, from the division account. Maybe that's 5 or 6 tweets or so. All right. And then you can load more tweets or view on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it has the same effects as, just putting on one of the buttons that they had, that option. But this just adds a little more to your website, right? Graphically, It just adds a little more, especially if you tweet a lot. Some schools, I see you guys, you're tweeting 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. You have all these events going on and you're promoting your students and your school, and that's awesome. So you want to have that promoted as much as possible so that you can get your followers up too. Okay? So that is how you embed a YouTube video or your Twitter handle onto your web page. HTML is not that bad. Again, tips to take away: use a completely new content portlet if you can. Okay, so that way you don't try to have to dig through the HTML code unless you have a IT or computer science background or something like that, or you're just interested in that type of stuff. You don't have to do all of that because it can be tedious. I'm speaking for myself. It can be tedious sometimes, having to dig through 500 rows of code to try to find one thing. Just make it easy on yourself. Whole new content portlet, drag it in, put in your code, be done with it, and it's on your page. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Other than that, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.